Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here's your host, Dave Woodward.
Welcome everybody to Funnel Hacker Radio. I'm your host, Dave Woodward. I'm super excited today. We're actually walking through the third part in a series of 3 that's entitled Funnel Stacking. This actually is the high ticket funnel. We've already done the tripwire funnel, we've done the webinar funnel, and this is the third one as far as the high ticket funnel. Just like the other 2, this also is being recorded on video. The audio is being stripped out, and the audio is what you're hearing on this podcast. I'll make sure as I go through this, basically you understand everything that you're seeing on video. But if you actually want to see the video, go to our YouTube channel at Funnel Hacker TV. Again, that's Funnel Hacker TV, and you can actually see this as a YouTube channel video there as well. So again, we're talking today about the high ticket funnel. This again is a third part in the series, and what I say as far as the series on that, what I'm referring to is you typically are going to see the tripwire, the webinar, and then the high ticket funnel. And our tripwire is really more for our cold prospects, webinar is more for warm, and our high ticket is going to be more for your hot prospects. Those people who really understand you, who know you, who want more of you. And that's what I want to kind of talk about briefly here, is helping you understand really what the purpose of the high ticket funnel is. So first of all, this is set up for you so that you can actually give the biggest impact and the greatest results to your clients. When people pay more, you're going to find they have the ability, you really have more of an ability to serve them at a higher level, and also at higher prices. People are typically much more invested and more likely to have higher levels of success with your products and services. The second thing is, this is where you're going to make the most money. Typically, our higher ticket products are also our most profitable ones. Usually they're almost all profit, especially when the lead acquisition cost has already been covered in the lower funnels, like our tripwire and our webinar. Our leads right now already came from the tripwire. They've already come from the webinar, so they're really almost free leads. So there's really no cost for that. Now, what I want to talk to you about here as we go into this is helping you understand the 3 different pages to this. So the first thing you're going to have on the first page is what we refer to as, it's either going to be our third-party result or our case study page that also will have an apply button on there. The second page in the funnel is our desire amplifier page. Here's where you're going to help them want to really finish the application. And the third page is the homework and their connection. And I'm going to go through all 3 of these pages so you understand exactly how they work, why we've set them up this way, and really the details behind it. What you're going to find here is that most of the time you're going to be driving traffic directly. You typically won't be driving traffic directly to your high ticket funnel. Usually the first time someone's going to see this, or they're going to be introduced to our high ticket funnel, is on a very soft offer, usually on our thank you page. In fact, most of all of Russell's tripwires and his webinar funnels, they all have on there at the bottom, basically on the thank you page, is another opportunity to work with him. And so what he typically is going to find is that it's not going to be really a hard sale as much as it is the ability for them to work with you. In fact, the hook for the thank you page is on the thank you page. You're going to find that you have the opportunity there of basically having a real quick thing. All it really is going to say is, hey, would you like my help in implementing what you just purchased? So that's really one of the main ways that we actually drive people into this, is through our other thank you pages. The other thing is on banner ads as well. Again, if you're not seeing the image here, what it basically is a picture of Russell. He's holding up an image with a play button in the middle. Basically says, do you need my help? I'm not talking about another course, a product, a class, or seminar. I want to design and create this system for you. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, click here now. And below there's just a button that basically allows them access to see the other parts of the funnel. So typically the way people get into this is either going to be through your thank you pages or through your banner ads, or the other big thing we find for a lot of people is you're going to be continuing to email these people over time. So it's not uncommon on our thank you pages. You're only going to get 1, maybe 2% of people actually taking you up on that. But over time, what's going to happen is you're going to have an email sequence, and that email sequence is going to have them set up so that they're actually going to be receiving all sorts of emails from you. And in that email sequence, we've got 2 here on the video. I'll kind of go through them so those who are listening may understand it. The first one here is basically says, hey, have you met Liz? About a year ago, she joined my inner circle and went from 0 to over 6 figures, almost hitting 7 figures in her first year. Last month, she came to Boise for our mastermind meeting, and she recorded a video message for you. You can see it here. And there's a picture of Liz with a little play button right there. Watch this video, and then would you be a good fit for my inner circle? If so, apply here. Thanks, Russell Brunson. That's the email that actually goes out. And so the subject line being, have you met Liz? Another one is, have you met Mike yet? 8 months ago, he went to a Tony Robbins seminar. Him and his friend both joined my inner circle. But the next day, his friend dropped out. Where's Mike now, 8 months later? And where's his buddy? Watch this short video to find out what happened. And again, it's a picture of Mike, little play button there. Right below it says, watch this video now. Have you been thinking about either Ignite or Inner Circle? Maybe it's time to stop thinking and be like Mike and just start moving. One of my mentors used to tell me, money follows speed, and it's true. And then basically goes, again, thanks Russell Brunson, apply here now. So the idea here is you're gonna have these follow-up sequences, and this really is gonna be your greatest way of getting people into this funnel. The idea behind this is you really wanna make sure that the people who are actually doing all the talking is not you bragging about yourself, but you're actually getting the results from other people. So as you take a look here, the key to all of this as far as when you're selling high ticket products, first of all is social proof of others doing what the people who you want to come on board are already doing. So testimonials for high ticket products are huge. And I'm going to go into detail as far as how you actually get those in just a minute. The other thing that this does for you is it provides proper positioning and posturing of you, the guru basically, of the person who's at the head of this program. And the idea is you want to make sure that other people are talking about this instead of you ranting and raving about how awesome you are. It just doesn't work that well. So the key is to make sure you get as much social proof as you possibly can. With that said, what you're going to find is when we go to the actual landing page, there's going to be two different landing pages. The first one really is kind of more of our favorite one, and this is what we refer to as our third-party result page. And I'll kind of tell you Russell's story about how he came across this. For those of you who are watching on the video, what you're seeing right now is I'm looking for a few of my dream clients, and it's a picture of Drew Canoli. Very limited openings. Apply here now and apply for the .com Secrets Ignite or the Inner Circle button below. And there's also another little testimonial image of Tony Robbins talking about Russell. So that's what they're actually coming onto. So let's talk a little bit about social proof and why it's so critical to you. You're going to find, for the most part, most entrepreneurs typically, they're going to create the product first and then they start trying to sell it. Russell's really designed the best way of doing this is really completely backwards. The best thing here is your first goal really should be able to get someone a result from your product or your service, even if this means working for free. I can't stress that enough. Russell's been a huge promoter of working for free for people because you get real, true results. Russell tells a story of one of the kids in his church here. Basically, he was a high school kid who was looking for a summer job. And after dozens of applications and no responses, he decided he needed to change his approach of how he was actually doing it. So the very next day, he went into his favorite clothing store, one that he wanted to work for, and he knew that they were hiring, that they weren't hiring. So he basically walked in and immediately walked up to the manager and said, "Hey, would you mind if I just helped you fold clothes?" Well, obviously the manager was totally confused and asked him, why would you want to do this? And his basic response was, he thought folding clothes was fun and he really enjoyed it. So she finally agreed and allowed him to help. He then spent the next 2 to 3 hours helping basically fold clothes, and then he went home. Well, the very next day he shows up again, and as he comes in, he starts folding clothes, but then also basically grabs a broom and starts sweeping. Also helped even do cleaning the bathrooms. Well, at this point, the store manager is totally freaking out and basically says, "Hey, bud, do you want a job?" And obviously, of course, he did. And so that's how he actually got his job as a high school kid, was working for free for a company that at the time really wasn't hiring, but it was a company he wanted to work for. Well, Russell did the exact same thing with Drew Canoli when he set up and really created his new approach to his inner circle. Let me kind of go through and help you understand kind of what happened for Russell. So it was a couple of years ago, and what he basically found was that he really wanted to help people, and he wanted to find some way of getting a great testimonial. So he decided he wanted to work for free. So he contacted a guy who he really didn't know that well, but someone he was following. At the time, Russell was really involved in juicing and things, and And he'd heard about this guy, Drew Canoli, who had Fit Life TV and had tons and tons of videos out there on how to juice. So Russell ended up contacting him through a mutual friend and flew down to San Diego, met with Drew, and while he was in his office there, he helped them basically build out their entire funnels. It was a supplement funnel, and they created a supplement launch, and everything he could do to actually serve them the very best he possibly could. He didn't ask a penny for any of it, but realized that by working for free, if he could get them great results, he would be probably one of the best testimonials he could ever have. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Drew Canoli really is what launched our most recent Inner Circle. So what happens right now, if on the page, is you're gonna, instead of having Russell talk about how great he is, the headline here is, I'm looking for a few of my dream clients. And then there's a picture of Drew Canoli in his office, San Diego background, and Drew then talks about Russell coming to his office and basically going through and telling all the things that he did to help him basically build his company and the results that they got. So here you have someone else speaking on your behalf. Well, we had another situation very similar to Drew, and that was with Liz. One of the things we found in our Inner Circle was, as we started having Drew, the majority of our Inner Circle was really filled primarily with men, because that seemed to be the types of clients that resonated with Drew and everything else. And we really wanted to have more women involved. So what happened was, he basically had another person who had joined. Her name was Liz Benny. Probably many of you have heard of her. I actually did a podcast with her earlier. And she went through and basically tells her story of exactly what happened after she joined the Inner Circle. So again, the first one was Russell working for free for Drew. The second one was his actual client, Liz Benny. Again, same headline. I'm looking for a few of my dream clients. If that's you, I will personally work with you one-on-one in your business to help you double your traffic, conversions, and sales over the next 12 months. And then basically you have a picture of Liz telling her story. Again, additional text on the page there, very limited openings, apply here now, and a button basically at the bottom there saying apply now for Inner Circle. The key here is it allows Russell the opportunity of having other people talk and rave about what an amazing results they were able to get by participating in the Inner Circle. And that's really one of the main things we want to make sure as you're taking a look at creating your high ticket page, the best thing that we found really are third-party results speaking on your behalf. Now understand, you may not have a whole bunch of third-party results or anything else. So the other thing we've had great success with, and that is what we refer to as our black box or our case study. So the idea here as far as the case study is, on the case study, you're basically going to be presenting facts and details of a case study or something that basically happened that you were able to get results for someone. And so it's not them actually talking about it, it's you as the reporter reporting back on the results of it. So the ad here basically says, in red, free case study, $89,230 to a tiny list of people in less than 3 days. The black box. So in the center then is a big white background, black lettering says the black box. A simple 3-step funnel, sell almost anything without actually selling anything. Again, curiosity is the main thing, obviously, as far as the headline. And then below that is enter your email for the free black box funnel, infographic, and to apply to have me help set up a black box funnel in your business. Enter your name and your email, apply for the strategy session now. So they understand they're actually applying for a strategy session. They're not just applying to get the infographic. So that's one of the things we've seen from a case study standpoint that's worked really, really well. Understand here that the goal on both of these pages is to have people give you a shy yes. And what we mean by a shy yes is we want their email address, we want their name before they actually get to the full application page. Because what you're going to find is if the people get to the actual full application, half of those people are going to bail out and you won't be able to re-communicate with them, to continue to market to them, and really help them understand the process and the benefits and services that are available to them. So again, that's what we're looking at here on the first page. Basically, it's either going to be a third-party testimonial or a free case study. Those are the offers that we basically are looking at. Now, on the second page is going to be what we refer to as our desire amplifier page. Now, the idea here, again, on our high ticket funnel, the first thing is you've got the third-party result or the case study with the apply button, so we capture their email address. The second thing gets them to the desired amplifier, which really is more of the application. And here you're going to really help them to want to finish the application. And there's a lot of science and art that actually goes behind making all this happen. So with that said, what you're going to find is the first thing here is you're really trying to help people fill out the entire application. Now, when they're at this point, they really have the opportunity of getting a little scared, a little nervous, having a lot of second guessing in their commitment to continue the process. So what Russell's done here is he actually has a video on this page that addresses the fact that they could be nervous. And then he goes on to show them videos of other people just like them who are in the same spot, who had applied and now have awesome results because they took that leap of faith. So for those of you who can't see the application or the Desire Amplifier page, what it basically has here is you're just one step away. Please fill out the short application now. Then we've got a three-step process. It basically says step 1, step 2 are already complete. Step 3 is still open. Obviously, it's not complete yet. And then goes through on the right-hand side is your confidential application. It's split basically as a 2/3, 1/3 page. So the 2/3 to the left on that has a video of Russell helping calm their concerns, helping walk them through it, softening the blow, making sure they understand that, hey, other people have gone through this just like you. And then he goes in and has those people actually go through and fill it and basically tell about the results they got. Below this video basically says apply now and we'll ship you out this free DVD called Your Total Business Transformation, where you can see behind the scenes the effect from one company that went through the Ignite program or the Inner Circle program or whatever you're going to name it. Sometimes we put a bribe in, other times we don't. Obviously, if you can do it without a bribe, you're going to get better quality leads, which in turn obviously creates a happier salesperson as they're closing their deal. Now on the application process on the right-hand side, it's about a third of the page, the full name, so first and last name, their email address, their personal phone number, and then we go through and basically ask them, 3 or 4 different questions, and each one of those questions, we're wanting them to type things out. These aren't just bullet points, they're actually boxes where they actually are filling in the question. We want a lot of detail here, and that's why it's really important on the video that you help soften the blow about what they're seeing and how it's going through it. The other thing on your video, it allows you the opportunity to then resell them on why they need to apply to the program. The idea here is they had an idea on the first page, but now they're thinking, you know what, I'm not sure if I really want to do this. So we really want to take the time to resell them on exactly why they're doing this. And by having their email, obviously, we're going to continue to follow up with them and keep doing that. As we mentioned, as far as the bribe, it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It kind of depends on what you want. The video here, I want to kind of talk to you about the details of what actually is said on the video. So the very first thing, when people come into your funnels and into your company, they're inherently going to have their guard up and probably just not trust you. So Russell's primary goal in this video was to build rapport so that they trusted him. Understand, no one's going to write you a check for $25,000 or $100,000 or more unless they trust you. So building trust is the first thing. Again, it's real important on that video. It's Russell speaking at first. It wasn't somebody else talking about Russell. It's actually Russell. Russell wants to connect directly with these people. The second thing Russell did in the video there was to tell them what to expect and that they are going to get a call. If so, when, who they're going to be talking to, what they should do to prepare. You really want to make sure they understand the whole process. The third thing here is Russell's done a great job at doing this, and that is if you can create an inbound call, what we found is that if we can get someone to call us, the conversions are crazy. That inbound call is worth typically about 4.5 to 5 times as much as those that we have to outbound call. In other words, our conversions are 4 to 5 times greater if someone's calling us versus we're calling them. The fourth thing then is tell them there's going to be some homework assignments and to watch the videos and the trainings after they've completed all this. Understand it's super critical for you guys to realize this. When you're selling high ticket stuff, the more time that they invest now into your training, the better candidates they're going to be for your program and the easier the sale is going to be when your salespeople get on to actually close them. So the last big focus of this page is really getting them to start consuming our content, getting them indoctrinated into our world, and really getting them to, we try to do everything we possibly can really to create an inbound call. But the main thing here is I want to make sure people are consuming our content, that they're really diving into us, that they know who we are, they're becoming a part of us. We joke around a lot about it's the whole idea about creating that culture, because I want them to really feel like it's unique. This is a new opportunity. This isn't something, it's not a new, improved, or anything else. This is a brand new opportunity for these people. They're going to be changing their life. And so this page here, I can't stress the importance of that desire amplification page and the video there. You really need to spend some time on that and make sure that it's working, that you're going through and hitting all those hot buttons. The next thing now is going to be this homework and the connection that we talked about. And this is going to really be so they finish the application. The very next page they're going to get is, thanks for applying. Now it's time to do your homework. Step number 1, watch this personal video I made to show you why I'm so passionate about helping you. And yes, you get to see me cry 3 times in this video. That's from Russell's Inner Circle video. And again, it's about a 10-minute video of Russell going through and really connecting with these people, helping them understand how passionate he is about making sure they get the results that they want. That's what's in it for him. He wants to make sure that the greatest results will come by them believing that he's the answer for them to get the results that they need. You need to be the same way when you're out there doing that. You need to make sure that when you're creating that video on your homework, is that they actually see how passionate you are about helping them. Step number 2 is, here's what to expect next. And this is kind of what I talked about just briefly. First of all, we've received your application, and the next 24 to 48 hours, I'll be reviewing and pre-approving your application. Second, if I personally pre-approve your application, then you're going to want to get a call from one of our coaches on my team. These guys have been with me for over 5 years and will be able to look at your goals, your plan to get you there, and to see if the Inner Circle will be a good fit for you. Third, watch the homework videos below in step number 3 so you'll be prepared when you talk with the coach. And then the homework videos, again, most of that homework is additional content, additional teaching, helping them understand what they're going to get, how it works, all that kind of stuff. So that's really where we are right now in the process. The last thing I want to talk to you about is the actual phone call that they're going to be receiving. This is one of those areas where a lot of people struggle, and I've known Russell a long time. One of the things he hates doing is getting on the phone to sell someone. In fact, he jokes around all the time about how, Robbie or Randy or Derek will basically say, hey, Russell, get on the phone, close this guy, talk to this guy. He really wants us to hear from you. And Russell kind of jokes around and says, you know what, every time I do that, I lose the sale. Realize that if you're not that great at selling on the phone, just don't do it. What we've found that works really well for us is the 2-step process where you've got a setter and a closer. And I don't have time right now on this podcast to kind of go through all the detail with it, but basically what's going to happen is on the setting script, there's going to be the introduction, a couple of questions, a blast, the posture, probing, finding credit, what their goals are and their commitments. And again, you can get a lot of this, we'll do this later on in another podcast. Also, you can go to our high ticket funnelsecrets.com and you can get the actual script there as well. The setter's job is really to kind of weed people out and to set the closer up for that. On the closing script, you're basically talking about the time, their decision making, the resources they have, knowledge, what's included, and the close. The close really, the setting part is kind of weeding out those people to see if they really have the money, if they have the really, do they have the commitment? Are they really going to do this? And the setter's job is to help find out how committed are these people? What's their drive? What's their why? Why are they out there doing this? The closer then basically comes in and the closer does a fantastic job, obviously, of closing out the deal. So guys, that's the whole idea behind this. And the idea for us after that now are going to be a ton of indoctrination pages. And what I mean by that is now that they're in your sales funnel here, you're going to want to continue to indoctrinate them into what's going on with you, with your company, why you are the answer to everything they've looked for. And so a lot of our indoctrination sequences are videos, it's homework, it's different things they can do to connect. But I hope that makes sense, and I hope this helps you guys out. Understand high ticket sales funnel is a huge, huge profit center for you. If you don't currently have one in your business, it's probably the next step up that you need to look at creating is a high ticket sales offer. Again, the profit is huge, but more important than the profit is it's your greatest way of being able to help and serve those people who you really want to give the most to. Again, thank you so much for listening. If you want access to the entire 3 core funnels, I'd highly recommend that you go to funnelhackerradio.com/funnel and then the letter U, so funnel U. If you go to funnelhackerradio.com/funnel U, you will get the tripwire, you will get the webinar, and you'll get the high ticket secrets in a book we call Funnel Stacking, and ties all 3 of these together. It gives you examples, pages after page. I think it's almost an 80-page book. Basically, it goes through and shows you exactly what to do. So again, go to funnelhackerradio.com/funnel U, and you'll be able to have instant access to all of this. Thanks again. I wish you all the best in your business, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks for listening to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast. If you'd like to be notified anytime we release a new episode, just subscribe over at funnelhackerradio.com. In addition to that, we'd love to send you a free gift. You can find that free gift at funnelhackerradio.com/free trial. One last thing is we love giving away cars. So if you'd like access to a free dream car, all you have to do is go to funnelhackerradio.com/dream car and you'll get all the details. Thanks again for listening.